Hey, this is Garrett over at Conquest Classic Cars, just showing you a quick walk around and start up here on our 1969 Lincoln Continental Mark III. So, the story I got on this car is it was originally bought in Eaton, Colorado, and spent pretty much his whole life there with a retired dentist. This car was purchased a few years ago by the son-in-law of the dentist. He's owned it since then. We've done some work to the car. He had some top end work done to the motor. Had the bottom seat reupholstered there. Otherwise, the car's pretty much all original. Let me go ahead and fire it up for you. It starts up nice. It's got its original 460 3-speed automatic transmission. If you want, so you can grab a video of that little door tag there. You can just tell by the way everything shuts nice and solid. Really clean engine bay. When the heads were off the vehicle, the engine was repainted on the top end. As you can hear, it sounds good. No rattle. Doesn't smoke. A little bit of a power steering loop there. As you can see though, just panel gap wise, everything lines up really nicely on this car. All the chrome and glass is in nice shape. Get a shot down the side here, Priscilla. If you look down the side, you can tell there's not been a bunch of body work done. These cars are really big, straight, slab-sided cars, so you can tell right away if something's off on it, and that's not the case on this one. This is a nice, straight, rust-free car. The white top is beautiful. No tears in the top. A little bit of paint missing right there. Let's get that exhaust note. I'll give it a little gas. Like I said, the interior on this car is all original with the exception of the bottom seat. Actually really color matched nice. Headliner is in perfect shape, and the back seat looks like it's probably never even really been sat in. One thing I did want to draw your attention to is the cruise control on the turn signal stock is broken and no longer operable. It looks like they put some electrical tape on that just to keep jagged edges from being there, just from the original plastic where it broke off. Hideaway headlights work. We'll show that to you here in a second. Gauge wise, I don't believe the fuel gauge works, but the oil pressure gauge does. Your battery and your temperature gauge all work, and obviously the clock doesn't work. Not a big surprise. Those were usually broken a few years after they were new. Radio does work, but I get a lot of interference through it, and sometimes I can pick up stations. And I think that's mostly due to the fact that the power antenna out back there is not currently working. Power windows up front work good. Rear power windows do not currently work, as a heads up. Heater works good. AC compressor kicks in, it just does not blow cold currently. Let's go ahead and just take it for a quick ride here. I think that kind of fills you in on most of the features on this one. But where this thing really shines is taking it out for a spin. Even with this 2.5 ton car, can still steer it with your pinky finger. The power steering in these cars is phenomenal. And it's seriously like driving your living room sofa around. Just very comfortable suspension. Brakes are firm. Stops on a dime. A lot of people think of these cars as being big lethargic boats, but in 1969 they really hadn't detuned these engines yet for emissions. So, you know, this was rated at, I think, 365 horsepower and over 400 foot-pounds of torque, which, you know, by the mid-70s, that same model had less than 200 horsepower. So these earlier Continentals with the big 460s are actually hot rod Lincolns. Lots of power. The transmission shifts smooth. Like I said earlier, my favorite part about this car is that power steering. It just drives nice. Tracks down the road straight. Brakes nice and straight. There's already 40 miles an hour. I mean, it's just effortless driving this car around. Make a great road trip vehicle, honestly. No creaks or rattles on the suspension when you go over bumps. You need a football stadium to turn this car around, but that's okay. Actually, having those two spears up on the fenders actually makes this car pretty easy to park. It's really easy to see where your corners are at. Car doesn't overheat, stays cool in the summer. All the lights work. Odometer shows 66,000 miles from the story we got from the previous owner and the story that he was told from the dentist. And just judging by the overall shape of the car, we're fairly confident that that's 66,000 original miles. Your wipers are controlled up here. Work good. Well, thanks so much for watching. Again, this is Garrett over at Conquest Classic Cars. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Our number is 970-573-5291. Real quick here, we'll show you the headlight operation on this car, and see you on the next video.